Hello guys, welcome to Abdo channel. In today's video, we will discuss about the variables in Python. What is a variable? What is the purpose of variable? How we will store the data in variables? How we will assign the values to the variables? What are the different kinds of variables like local and global variables? All these concepts we are going to discuss in today's video. Before we start to know what is a variable, let us correlate the variable in programming languages with the concept of uh, variables in algebra equations, which we generally solve in mathematics. Let's say, for example, there is an equation, okay, z is equal to 2x plus 3y. If x is 3 and y is 5, what is the value of z? Okay, in such scenarios, right? See, see that this is the expression that is given, right? 2x plus 3y, z is equal to 2x plus 3y, and what they're giving? Uh, x is 3 and y is 5. X is 3 and y is 5. In such scenarios, what we do, we generally in mathematics while solving this problem, right? We take value 3 into x variable and value 5 into y variable. These are the x and y are the variables we declare generally in our problem solution approach to store the value into those variables, right? So once the value is stored into those variables, we can substitute the value that is there in those variables, right? Z is equal to 2 into 3 plus 3 into 5. Okay, so when you do this, this is currently the z value, 2 multiplied by 3 plus 3 multiplied by 5. Okay, so now while you are calculating 6 plus 3 multiplied by 5, z equals 6 plus 15. See, if you see in each and every step, the value of z is getting changed. Finally, the value is 21. So the expression is getting evaluated to value 21 for the values given x is 3 and y is 5. So this is how we generally solve the equation of any algebra equation expressions, right? By taking the values into some variables. In the same way, if we have to solve the similar expression in any programming language, I mean, in order to store any value, we have to declare some variables. So that is the purpose of variable. Variables are being used to store a value. This is what we have seen the expression evaluation, right? So variables are used as containers to store a value in it. Okay, so their value will change throughout the application or solution approach or program. That's what we have seen. See, x is 3 here, y is 5, z value is this one currently. At the end, it is getting changed till the line number 8, and at the end its value is 21. So variable's value can change. Variable means it can change, right? So the value can change. The value of a variable can change. It may not be the constant value. Okay. Next, the old value will be written if you assign a new value to it. Okay, let us take one simple example, the similar example which we will try to solve it. Okay, uh, okay, let us take this one. X is equal to 3 and y is equal to 5. Okay, now I am going to calculate z is equal to 2 times x plus 3 times y. Okay, what will be the value of z? If I save and run it, what will happen? We will see. See, this value 21 came. See, if I assign a value, z is equal to some 10. Okay. Now, if I print z, what will be the value? See, it will not be definitely 21 because z value 21 is evaluated here in step number 4, line number 4, and we are printing it here. Again, we are going to store the same the value 10 into the same variable z. So whatever the value which we have stored in line number 4, which is 21, will be overwritten by the value which we are going to store in line number 7. That means variable, see this, okay, let me clear and run it again. What happened? So I have not saved it. Yeah, let me save and run it again. Okay. Let me see if there is some problem. Yeah, I have given some C, right, to clear the console that is printed here. Let me run it now. See, the value z is 10. That's what it is saying. Variable can hold at it at any point of time one single value. If you are storing a new value, the old value will be overwritten. Okay. In the same way, in Python, right, variables we will be creating like this: x is equal to 5, x is equal to 3, y is equal to 5. In the same way, if you want to store some floating point number which is having some decimals and fractions, right, that also we can store here like this 3.14. Okay. If you want to store some sequence of characters, okay, that also you can store it here. Okay. See all these things, right? We can store any type of data in a variable. That's what I'm trying to say here. It's not only the integer values, we can store the float values, we can store the sequence of characters. There are other types also, okay, which we will go through in the future sessions. For now, let us discuss about let us know about the details. What are the variables, what kind of values we can store in general. Okay, so if you want to store what kind of data that was stored in a variable, right? Okay, the what type of data, what is the type of data that was stored? We have a type function, built-in function available in Python language. Okay, see this here we assign x is equal to 3, here x is equal to 3.14, x is Satya. Here we are storing sequence of characters which is a string, right? So its type, whenever I'm trying to get, it is showing str. So the type of data that was stored in x is str. If I try to find the type of data that was stored in y, see this, the class int. So the type of data that was stored in y is int type. Let me check for the same what is there in x again. I'll remove this one. Okay, now let me try running it. See this, x currently is having float, right? Y is int, x again float. We've overridden the value, right? This is how we can get the type of data that was stored in a variable. Okay, let us go to, yeah, this section, rules for declaring variable names, right? So it must any variable name, here we are giving the variable names as x, y, z, right? You can give some meaningful names also, like number of employees, like this also you can give. In such scenarios, if you are giving a variable name like this, the variable name should not start with cannot start with a number, but must start with a letter or underscore. So it can start with a letter or an underscore like this, but not like this. See this, here it is starting with the underscore, right? If I try to give this is statements, this is giving an error. If I try to compile run this, what will happen? We will see this invalid decimal literal. So it should not start with a number. However, it can start with a letter or underscore. That is what the first two rules. Okay. Name can contain only alphabets, numeric, and underscore character. Alphabet, numeric, and underscore character. Other than that, if I try to give, see this, it is giving error, right? Yeah. names are case sensitive. Yeah, different. I mean, the different cases names will be storing the different values. Okay, that is about the rules for declaring variable names. So in general, right, we generally see the dynamically typed languages and the statically typed languages. See, what does it mean? Okay, in statically typed languages, right, the variable type will be identified at run. Sorry, yeah, at compile time. This is in reverse. Okay, yeah, this is in reverse. I have to modify this one. Sorry about that. See, statically typed languages, right? So type of a variable identified at compile time. So like in Java and C languages, while we are declaring a variable, right? You you have to declare a type like this. Okay. So what kind of data, whether you are going to store integer data, float data, or string data, that type you have to mention here in the languages where it is highlighted as statically typed languages. But dynamically typed languages means dynamical type of a variable will be identified at runtime, which means that like Python programming language, right? Here we are not mentioning any type for these variables, but this will be identified by based on the value that we are assigning to this variable, right? Its type will be identified by the Python interpreter at the runtime. Okay, so errors based on this approach, right? Errors related to a data type, if we are assigning a wrong value uh, to the integer data type variable, if we are assigning a float value, the compiler itself will throw an error. Okay, that is the benefit of statically typed languages. Developer has to know all the data type during the development itself. In the dynamically typed languages, errors we will not be able to know till it executes, because at runtime Python interpreter will finds out the type of data, right? So developer don't have to bother about declaring the type for the data comes in. Yeah, that is about dynamically typed and statically typed languages. Let us go to, yeah, before we go to global variables and local variables, right? I want to show you one more thing, the value assignment to variables. Okay, see here we are assigning value to variables like this, right? So this is a single variable value. This is how we are assigning to a value to a single variable. Okay, suppose this is printed, right? Suppose if you want to modify, suppose if you want to assign uh, multiple different values to multiple variables at a time or in a single line, you can do like this: x comma y comma z is equal to, if you want to assign 10 comma 20 comma 30, and you can try to print them like this. Let us see. See what will happen, we'll see. Okay, let me remove this. See, we are assigning 10, 20, 30 to XYZ variables. This is about assigning a same type of data to different variables in a single line, right? Let me see. Let me show you different type of variables assigning to different variables in a single line. Okay. See this. Let me compile this. Let me execute this one. See. So it means that different types of data also can be assigned to different variables in a single statement. Okay, this is about the variable assignment. There is another scenario. Okay, if you want to store a same value to all variables in a single line, okay, that also we can see. We can assign that also. Okay, x is equal to y is equal to z is equal to, if you want to mention a single variable, a value to all these variables, you can mention like this. See, all variables are assigned with a string Scott. Okay, that is about the variables assignment. Okay, let us go to the global, local and global variables section. Yeah, see, these are, let us say there is a function. Okay, this is how we write or define functions in Python. Okay, see here I am assigning a value to this variable in which is declared inside this function. Okay, if I print this and if I call function 1 like this, okay, see now what will happen, we'll see. See, 10 value is printed here. Okay, which means that the value that is defined inside a function is its scope is defined within the function in which it is declared. Okay, let me show you this example. X is equal to 20. Okay, so here we are updating x is equal to 10. Okay, this is one thing. Okay, after calling function 1, let me try to print x value. Okay, what will happen, we will see. See this, function 1 is assigning a variable x value to 10 and it is printing it. Okay, this value. After function 1 call, we are printing the value x, which is defined beyond, outside the function. Okay, see this is called as global variable. Okay, if you want a variable to be accessed across the functions, then you have to declare that variable outside the functions definitions. Okay, but the problem here is, if you observe it here, the variable which you declare within this function body is its scope is limited to that function only. Okay, that's why even though you are using the same variable name and assigning a new value in line number 6, when you try to get the x value, the variable which you assign in line number 3, the value which you assign in line number 3 is not coming when you print the value in line number 6, because its scope is limited to that function itself. So whatever the value we declared here, that only will come when you print the value outside of that function. But what we want to see this, uh, let's say for example I want to update the global variable only. Okay, see here x is equal to 20 is there. So in this function 1, I want to update this variable value only. In such case, what we have to do, we have a global keyword. Okay, see, when we say global x means it is going to call this variable and get its value. So whatever updates we are going to do for x here will be reflected to that variable. Okay, let us see what will happen. See this, I am referring the value x which is declared as a global variable outside of these functions. I am referring with a global keyword. So I am having the value 20 here. I am assigning it to 10. Okay, if I print it here within the function or outside the function, whatever the value I have updated here, that only is getting printed. Okay, that is about the global variable. That's what we have seen, we have written here, accessible to the functions or locations beyond their declaration scope. See this, that's what, right, we are even getting it here outside of these functions as well. Variables that are created outside a function, yes, can be declared with a global keyword. Yeah, that is what we are referring it here, right? Yes, local variables accessible to the functions are blocks within which they are declared. See this, here if I assign y is equal to 20 or 300, okay, if I try to refer y, what will happen outside of that function, let us see what will happen. See, this name y is not defined because we have declared within the function. Its scope is limited within that function only. Okay. No need of any special keyword to declare them. Okay. Like we have, if we have to refer a global variable, we have to use global keyword, right? So for referring the local variables, we don't need to use any keywords such. Okay. That's about variable declarations, assignments, and we discussed about the statically typed and dynamically typed languages, and we also get to know the differences between global and local variables. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. If you find this topic is helpful, please give it a like. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.